Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Mondays. I had to get this midnight update out to you guys with Bitcoin reattached to its 50-day moving average. This is the early signs that we could potentially see a breakout for Bitcoin inside of what a lot of us are calling an ascending triangle, maybe even some people calling it a symmetrical triangle. What's more important though is that we have ascending institutional buy pressure here forming higher lows, and this is what's most important to watch right now. Bitcoin does have the potential right now of breaking back towards this 200-day moving average if we can see fulfillment above 45,000 US dollars. But this would be the early signs that we're going to be getting that breakout, getting back to this 50-day moving average and gluing ourselves onto it was a very good thing to see over the last 48 hours. We're heading into Tuesday's market open. And so what we want to monitor, snipers, is number one, the S&P 500. And if we're going to breach this recent consolidation low, because so far the S&P 500 has also formed higher lows. We haven't yet breached this recent consolidation low despite seeing a lot of turbulence in international markets. China did gap down today and it's continuing to see downside. I wouldn't say this is a bad thing, because if the cryptocurrency market is not being affected by this right now, then at some point or another, these markets, especially China and Japan, and some of these smaller traditional markets are going to eventually bottom out. We don't want to necessarily look at these as the strongest sign of a four-dimensional revolving part confirmation as much as the S&P 500, which has yet to breach its recent consolidation lows, unlike the international markets. And then what I'm also watching is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust against the money supply. Institutions love to get exposure to Bitcoin by buying GBTC. A lot of institutions maybe can't buy Bitcoin with spot, and they'll use GBTC, which is testing its 200-week moving average. I know this is something a lot of people have been waiting to see for Bitcoin against its spot price with the USDT pairing, but sometimes you may not get the chance to get Bitcoin down to that 200-week moving average on its USDT spot pairing when institutional charts like GBTC is already testing its 200-week moving average, and institutions have already gotten a discount on Bitcoin. And so I think that having a reversal here, we have a stronger case than ever. For those that watched our video yesterday, we also pulled up Facebook against the money supply, which was a very interesting chart, because you can see here, Facebook against the money supply is also sitting at the lows from March of 2020 and from December of 2018, two different scenarios in which Bitcoin capitulated to its low before seeing massive upside. And we're currently sitting here right now with the Meta stock at this extremely oversold level. So these are all puzzle pieces that could build the case that Bitcoin wants to get above 40,000 here soon and potentially come back to test this 50-week moving average around 45,000, which would put it above the extremely important support and resistance right now of 45,000. If we can turn that into support, then a continuation of upside becomes likely. And what I'm also monitoring right now with all of the turbulence in Russia is Bitcoin against the Russian ruble. It has already seen a move above its 50-week moving average, actually forming new all-time highs. I know this may not be the best chart to watch to assume what's going to happen to the Bitcoin USDT pairing, but I think it's nice to just get a visual depiction of what it would look like for Bitcoin to see another wave to the upside, maybe even a wave that can take price action to new all-time highs. This right here is also something I'm going to be monitoring here over the next few weeks, just depending on when we start to see the fundamentals move away from that news. But for now, of course, it's something that a lot of people are talking about. And the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is important right now because it's forming higher lows, and we want to see the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart do well. We want to see altcoins perform well if we want to assume Bitcoin has the chance to perform well. So we're testing 65,000 Satoshis for those that have been tuned into the Cypress channel. We're monitoring this level. I want to see if we're going to hold this area because we've held it in the past. And right now it's clear that we've yet to really breach it. But if we get a stronger confirmation below 65,000 Satoshis, that comes off the table. But I don't think that that takes the bullish case for Bitcoin off the table, because in any sort of event that, let's say, Ethereum doesn't see strength, or many altcoins may not see strength, there's a potential Bitcoin can still see strength with the Bitcoin dominance chart potentially reversing, also testing its 50-week moving average right now. We know back in 2018, Bitcoin eventually capitulated completely after moving above its 50-week moving average in terms of Bitcoin dominance. Are we going to be waiting for that move here soon with that make Bitcoin come below 34,788. I think that Bitcoin dominance is not as strong as an indicator to watch right now. So it's the last thing I'm covering, just because of the fact that it decoupled from the DXY in this bull market, where in the previous bull market, it followed the DXY. And so we've yet to really see what Bitcoin dominance wants to do or what type of confirmation it wants to give us. So all eyes right now are once again on Bitcoin right now, inside of this potentially bullish market structure, whatever we want to call it, an ascending triangle, a symmetrical triangle, and we're heading towards the apex here soon. So I think that at some point or another, especially because we got ourselves back to this 50-day moving average, we are getting the best shot right now to see a breakout. For the downside scenario, of course, if the S&P 500, number one, breaches its recent consolidation low, then that could be a concern for Bitcoin to potentially come down. And we know we have 36,500 and even 34,788, where we could potentially find support. There's a lot of volume there. Bitcoin has been stronger than S&P 500 through the start of this year. And so that's still on the table. Even if the S&P 500 breaches its consolidation lows, Bitcoin might just see a little bit more downside, but not maybe capitulate further below 34,780, because we have the strong bullish bias with volume right now showing institutions are stepping in. It really could build a case for Bitcoin right now to really move strongly back to the upside. We've already come and tested 41,950 and the 44,800 level a few times. So one more impulse that we could see for Bitcoin could really be the last one that we need to see further price action to the upside. We've clearly been range bound here. We've been sideways. I wouldn't even say that we've been seeing much weakness here for Bitcoin, especially ever since the Russian-Ukraine conflict. Bitcoin has actually been a very strong asset and a great storage value, as it should be through this. And with that, I know this was a quick update. It was midnight. I just needed to get this video update out to you guys because yesterday we covered this scenario, but we haven't seen the break above that 50-day moving average yet. And so that's really what we're waiting for. And hope you enjoyed this content. Sniper, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you support the 4-dimensional analysis here, I'm going to get to bed. Enough of this caffeine at midnight. I just got to do what I got to do to get these videos out to you guys. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. 38,000 is a major support right now. 41,950, the major resistance. We're starting to see early signs of a rescue operation. Gluing ourselves back to this 50-day moving average is exactly what we want to see right now. And we just really need follow through. So let's see what happens. If we breach 38,000, I'm not going to be too worried unless we see a lot of volatility in outside revolving parts. The DXY also still quite calm. Didn't really need to mention it today, but we are still finding resistance here where we're expecting to see a little bit of a slowdown. So let's continue to monitor that. And until next time, snipers, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Snipers.